So now we're going to give some tutorials on how to fly the drone as if it's your first time using the matrice. Using this harness is great because then you're able to let go of the remote with your hands if need be in order to do anything. You're never going to drop the remote or tablet, which could cause issues. So if it's your first time flying a drone, you're going to want to begin outdoors. You're going to want to go to an open area with no large poles, cables, or trees nearby. You're also going to want to respect the local laws and check the airspace. Make sure that you're not in a restricted area near an airport or a heliport, and then you should be good to fly. It's always good to have a visual observer near you if you're flying, especially if it's complicated, but most laws don't actually require it. So we're going to begin flying the drone. We're going to want to be on the P mode. These are the three main modes of the drone. The ADI mode is going to be similar to underground flying with the GPS denied, but we want to start with the GPS on in P mode. S mode in the middle is for sport. Sport's not really going to be our sort of thing since we're not going to do any sporty activities. So you're going to want to make sure the drone has plenty of room around it. There's nobody nearby, no obstacles above or nearby. You're going to have your remote on, and you're also going to turn on the drone. If the drone requires a calibration, we're going to then calibrate the drone. You're going to want to be far away from any steel vehicles or objects. After we've confirmed our battery life and that the drone is ready to go in vision mode, we could also note that the obstacle sensors are currently on and that we have 13 GPS satellites. This now means that we're ready to go. In order to take off the drone, you're going to want to take the control sticks, point them down and in. The drone will automatically fire up. It's not going to take flight until you begin to increase the height of the drone. The GPSs are currently keeping the drone stabilized in its position. We're able to move it forward and back. Of course, you wouldn't want to do this in a dusty area, as dust could be intake. The rear of the drone right now has a couple of green lights that indicates the rear of the drone. If we turn it around, we now have the red lights, which are the front of the drone. You're going to want to try to get familiar with the controls. The right-hand control controls the position either via left, right, forward, or back, while the other stick controls the height and then steers the drone left or right. You can also pay attention to the FPV camera, which can give you a bit of an idea where you're looking as to what's forward and what's backwards with the drone, as it can sometimes be easy to confuse left from right and front from back of the drone, since all four sides can look the same.
Now you must build time flying the drone. Practice using both sticks at the same time to allow more complex movements. Figure eights, moving sideways, and flying backwards can all be done. You'll notice flying backwards, the drone controls are now inverted. This will take some practice to get used to in case you ever need to use it underground. Practice flying from just line of sight, and also practice flying with the FPV camera only. This will require a visual observer. Try using smooth movements with the stick and avoid these bashing taps. A sudden bashing tap like that of the control stick should only be used to avoid collision with an object. Practice using both sticks at once in the smoothest possible way, using minimal movement. Once you feel familiar, it's time to switch the drone into attitude mode. You're going to be doing this above ground at the surface to get some practice. Attitude mode allows the drone to operate without GPS. Therefore, the drone no longer knows where it is and will drift around and move, similar to underground scenarios. In order to maintain your current position, a bit of controller input is required. This will take some practice to get used to. It is best to practice this as much as you can before going underground, as wind flow and airflow underground will cause the drone to drift slightly in the direction of the passage. The Mindfly drone has forward-facing obstacle sensors. It's good to practice using these drones above ground to make sure you know how the function works and doesn't work. Try flying towards an object and you should get alerted on the screen that there's an object in front of you. Eventually there'll be a limit of how close the drone can get to an object before it will stop moving and cannot move at all. Note that when you put the drone into attitude mode, it disables the obstacle sensors. So practice with this with and without attitude mode. Underground, you will not be using attitude mode though because it disables the obstacle sensors, and we want these obstacle sensors to work underground. Sometimes an object will hold the drone up from moving forward due to the sensors, so you can briefly put the drone on attitude mode to go around the obstacle.
So to land the drone, we're going to want to bring it to the area. We could position the drone where we want to land it, and then you're going to hold the down button. It's going to sense the ground below the drone, and then it's going to enter a landing sequence once you continue to hold the down button. It indicates that it's landed, and you keep holding the down button until the blades are turned off. Once the blades are turned off, it's now landed. It's no longer active. You can remove the batteries, turn it off, turn the remote off, and continue. Another feature we're going to go over is the return to home feature. There is a button that will return the drone to where it landed. Well, this does not work underground, but it does work above now that we're GPS based.